welcome to Motor Point Arena. And earlier today, history was made as the Oakland Wolves captured the first ever SLB Cup title and the first title in their franchise history, taking on the Sheffield Sharks 65-51 as Sam Ashby walked away with the MVP final ball. What a matchup here earlier. But now it's time to shift things over to the men. Well, this is what the players play for. This is it. Finals day. This is what you work for in the summer, in the off season, on the weekend for an opportunity to win a championship as we have the Sheffield Sharks taking on the Surrey 89ers. Hello and welcome inside, courtside, and don't touch that dial as we are going to make history today. One team will be walking away as the first ever SLB Cup champs. And I got some heavy hitters with me today to take you through all the drama. Siobhan Pryor, Ant Bro. Ant, you've been on that bus, you walked through that tunnel, you've even warmed up behind us. What's going on through these players' head at this particular moment?
Well, there's adrenaline from head to toe. The excitement with the players is equally as high with the fans as well. It's an incredible opportunity to win a piece of silverware on neutral ground. There's no better stage.
And Siobhan, we can feel the energy build. Do you block it out or do you embrace it all?
I think you have to embrace it early, come on in, have a little look round, feel how the environment feels, and then I think you have to shut it down and start to focus on what you need to do to win the game.
Well, let's focus on the two teams, Sheffield Sharks, Surrey 89ers. And are the Sharks the best team in the league?
Arguably, yes, they are. They have everything you need to be a championship caliber team. They've got the trusted point guard, they've got the size inside as well, but they've got the shooters. But I think they've got a connectivity as well that seems to be getting better week in, week out. They're a very dangerous outfit.
But everybody loves an underdog, Siobhan.
Me included. And look, they've already beat the first place and third place team in the league. Why not the second place today?
Absolutely. Well, how did these two teams get here? Well, let's find out a little bit more of the format of the SLB Cup with Tahir Hajat.
The Super League Basketball Cup is a bracket-style knockout competition that sees the 9 SLB franchises pit themselves against 7 wild-card opponents. A random draw determines the competition bracket. Teams can plot their potential route to success from the first round through to the final. The semi-finals are 2-legged affairs, but for every other round, there are no second chances. For the first time, Nottingham's Motorpoint Arena will host a major British basketball event with the Cup final scheduled for the 9th of March. The Cup has a storied history. Newcastle Eagles are the top dogs with the most titles in top-flight British basketball history, winning 6 of the previous 20 finals. Whose year will it be in 2025?
Well, let's take a look how both teams were able to get here, taking care of business against Division I opponents on the road in round 1, earning themselves a trip to the aggregate semifinals, where that matchup was played over the course of 2 legs. And that's how we end up here, Motor Point Arena for the finals. Well, let's dive in and start the focus on the Sheffield Sharks and take a look at their road to the final.
What are the strengths of your team?
Everything, if I'm being honest.
Journey to the final has been one full of a lot of twists and turns. We've just been growing. We've had so many different injuries and things happening that the core of the team have been really mature and steady, and I think we've just always had this belief in us.
We got a resilient group of guys, man. You know, we say before every game, we got a group of dogs. We got guys who can make plays. We got guys who can shoot the ball at a high clip. We got guys who rebound the hell out the basketball. It makes us different than a lot of teams that, you know, we can switch our schemes up and keep on pace with the same thing we've been doing.
Live from the Wythe campus, it's the first leg of the SLB Cup semi-final between Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks.
I felt like that was a turning point, if I'm being honest. When you've been in the league for a while, everyone knows playing in Bristol is one of the hardest places to play in, and I felt like we set the tone immediately.
Nixon, feeling it. Still feeling it. And that will do it. A convincing, commanding performance.
Going to Bristol was, we kind of felt we were right there, right on the cusp of getting to a final.
Finals are special. For me, it's been a long time I've been here, but it's really a pleasure to see the fans get the enjoyment of going to a final, supporting the Sharks, supporting the club and team. We have a lot of new fans with a lot of fresh energy and blood in the young kids that are coming to the game, so I'm really excited for them to experience a final.
I feel like our team chemistry has been the best since I've been here, which is a lot to say, but you need that when you're trying to grab some silverware.
It's one game for everything. There's not a tomorrow. There's not a chance to redo this. I think that the special part is you got to go out there with your best 12 against their best 12 and lay everything on the line. I think competing with these guys every day and playing with them and being around them, I'm taking my 12 against anybody.
I feel like you don't really need no motivation. I mean, it's the final. You don't get too many chances of that, so we got to take care of business and be in the moment. It's money time. We know what we got to do. We know what we said we're going to do, and it's time to do it now.
Well, they have everything, and according to Rodney Glasgow, specifically that man right there, Prentiss Nixon. What's impressed you about him?
Well, he has been their forerunner. There's been a little bit of change, as Coach Atiba Lyons alluded to, but Prentiss Nixon, for me, has been the front runner. He can score in a number of different ways, but he plays with passion. He's a returner. Remember, this is his second season with the Sheffield Sharks, and I remember the camera zooming into him in the trophy final. He was in attendance. You could tell he wanted that. He needed that. His displays and his performances in the quarterfinals and semi-finals, the 30-point games have showed us that he wants this cup final.
And no excuse, just produce. Siobhan, how has he been able to continue producing with so much turnover among them?
Yeah, so much turnover, but 16.4 points per game. He's having a great season, and by all accounts, he is a real worker. He works on the court outside of practice all the time, and I think he puts the work in to be ready to be consistent for his team every night.
And is he the MVP?
He's certainly a strong candidate, Drew, and look, there's other stars on his team, let alone in the league, but Prentiss Nixon has the ability to slot in and make big plays when he needs to.
Well, it allows him to get busy. Guys like Jacob Groves that's able to create space, he fits this team like a glove, man.
He does, and what a luxury, what an asset to have. 6'9", long, but he shoots the ball incredibly well. 46%, yes, 46% from the three-point line. These are unheard of numbers, but this isn't a fluke for him. He did this at the University of Virginia last year, 46% three-point shooter. So a guy like him can really open up the floor and generate offense for this team.
And you heard him lay out the stats, Siobhan. In college, 46%, leading the league in shooting so far this season. But we know in this environment, this game, this stage, it doesn't always translate.
It's a little bit different, you're right, and I think he's been out in February, so this is his second game back. I think what he'll do is he'll just go out there, he'll get his feet set, he'll find his rhythm, and he'll start knocking them down. But the beauty is, as a shooter like that, is you do your work early, you make sure that you get into the passing lane, you're visible, and then you just set your feet, and the rhythm takes care of the rest.
Is he going to be able to shake off that rust, Dan?
Time will tell. And the one thing as well, we were obviously in awe of his shooting, but he's 6'9", so his length does help, especially against the smaller guards in Gooden and Jalen Ray as well. So that length can come in clutch on the defensive end also.
Absolutely, and we've seen the transformation. Sheffield Sharks always historically been a defensive team, but now they got both defense and offense.
Well, that's it, yeah. Best defensive records in terms of points allowed per game. We say defense wins championships, and there's no coincidence why they're here in the cup final. So Coach Atiba Lyons has historically had defensive-oriented teams, and I think he's finally molded this team into that.
Absolutely. A lot of early success for head coach that he said he might have taken for granted, but he's back and ingrained in the Steel City. So let's hear from the man himself, Coach Atiba Lyons.
Sheffield's a special place for me. It's the first kind of place I've been that I felt like home. I felt the people, soul of the earth, hard-working people, individuals that I grew up around, and my grandfather and my father are blue-collar workers, so I feel right at home with those kind of mindsets. I was a young coach when I started. I was a little baby, a puppy. When I was 25, turning 26, so my first year I was 26 years old. Player coach, Rich Azul, unexpected for any player to be put in that position. And the club's had a lot of faith in me early on. They supported me. They've given me a lot of rope to learn and make mistakes. And that's, very rare in the world of sport, and it's very much appreciated. I try to pay it back whenever I coach. The Atiba Lyons today is much more mellow, enjoying myself more in the role, being appreciative of the opportunity to be able to be in professional sport at any level is amazing. I'm just open to opportunities and I listen to people that are probably smarter, more experienced than me, and I do what I think is best, and I've been very blessed. I think for the club and where we are, I think we haven't been there for a little while. We've knocked on the door a few times. We've been there and thereabouts and had some really competitive seasons. But, we made sacrifices a few years ago to make sure we secured our future. And I think making the final this quickly after kind of making those sacrifices is definitely a sigh of relief and a bit of enjoyment. Hopefully the team feeds off as far as I'm approaching it, very calm and focused in what we do and not do anything special or just got to be us and play our game. But these guys are a fantastic group. When they get out there, they know what to do. Something I learned from my time here is definitely just to enjoy the moments, enjoy the positives, and not try to get too down in the downs. Probably early in my career, I was very much riding that roller coaster. And as an athlete and as a sportsman, as a coach, that can be very fatiguing and draining. So now at my age, I think one of the lessons I learned for sure is just stay in the moment, enjoy it, and do your best you can at that time. I'm very happy. I'm very blessed to be around the people I am. I think for me, that's what's, paramount is just making sure I'm in a good culture and people that care about me, and I feel like I have that here.
And over the years, Atiba Lyons' defense has always been there at the top, but critics like myself have always talked about how the offense needs to come to the party. How have you seen him evolve as a coach this season, Ant?
Well, Sheffield Sharks have been patient, but they didn't have to wait too long. His first piece of silverware for the club was back in 2010. There's been an extended period of time where he's had to move those pieces around, and injuries haven't helped as well. He's had, even this season, he's had to make changes, but I think why he's done a really good job of getting the team to buy into that on the defensive end. There's without doubt they've got offensive talent amongst 1 through 5, but defensively, I think he's got them to buy in.
Well, let's focus on this specific matchup, and what have you seen over the last 3 games?
Well, you look at the 3, it's 3-0 in favour of Sheffield Sharks. So they are the favourites coming into this one. When you look in early December, it was an 8-point deficit, then Surrey lose by 5, and then come to January, the fixture there, Surrey lose by 3. So if we're going off patterns, Drew, Surrey will win by 1 today.
Well, Siobhan, piggybacking off of Ant, it is very difficult to beat a team 4 times in a season.
It is. It's really difficult. It's difficult to play a team 4 times in a season. The scouting reports reflect each other so heavily, and it's about which coach is able to step up and just make those little changes to see who's going to take that win today.
And we saw in the VT, Sheffield Sharks full of confidence. Is there a such thing of being too confident coming into this game?
I think there is such thing as being too confident. I don't think they will do that today. I don't think they're going to be complacent. Like Ant said, it's been a little while since some silverware, and they're hungry for it.
Well, that is the Sheffield Sharks. Let's turn our attention to the opponent, the Surrey 89ers, and take a look back at their incredible route to the final in their very first season.
And that is it. The Surrey 89ers in their first ever season have reached the Super League Basketball Cup final.
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting journey, really. Felt like we had been playing well going into the semi-finals against Leicester. I would argue probably the team we'd struggled against the most out of anybody this year in the league. To be able to overcome them across 2 legs was great for us, great for the franchise. I thought it showed the growth of the team.
One of the things I've learned is that we're super, super resilient. We've been down in games, we've been up in games, we've had to fight, but we've kind of come collectively together, and it kind of puts into context how hard we've been working at practice, and it's nice to be able to show that on the floor.
Right now, arguably top 3 teams in the league at this moment in time, Sheffield, London and Leicester. Well, we've taken 2 of those top 3. Now we've got to face this Sheffield team to see if we can do all 3.
It's hard to win championships at any level, so when we lock in, we play hard, and we compete at a high level. I feel like we could beat anybody in this league.
I think the strength of our team is probably our versatility. We've got, great experience with guys like Andrew and Teo, and then great youth with, as we saw in the semi-final, guys like Nedes and DJ. Some guys that have been there and have done that work that has got us to this point.
Me and Teo have talked about trophy and the final and the league for a long time now, and we thought it was always a possibility that, once you get one win, it can kind of have a trickle-down effect and just keep building momentum through it, and that's fortunately what we've done.
I've been to a few finals before, but never crossed the line, always came away with runners-up. To achieve it now later on in my career, it'll be pretty high up.
I just think the level, being at the pro level, not being in high school and college, just playing for a trophy at the pro level is something to just strive for.
Sheffield are a great team, very deep, well coached. We've played them 3 times this year. They've beat us every time. So, yeah, we know how good they can be.
The majority of our games this year have been too close to call anyway. Judging the stage and what's at stake, I think it'll be a very, very, very good game.
There's a lot on the line. It'll be a long time since we won some silverware, so it'll be really good to just get over the line and get a piece of silverware for our new franchise.
Let's just play hard, compete, and stay together, and let's get it done.
The Surrey 89ers, a road less traveled, and like Lauren said, and resilient.
They are that, Drew, resilient, and this is a club as well that we've been known to being scrapping down at the bottom. This year it's been a whole new resurgence, and they've had to fight, scrap and claw their way to the final, and they've done just that. Very resilient group and a well-coached group.
And they can beat you in multiple ways, specifically down in the paint with that big fella right there. You see him, Dame Medelican. Is he the best big man in the league?
He's certainly high on the list. Incredible. He's a walking double-double. He has a really good foot work down low as well. He shoots around 68%, so really high efficient score. I think that's key in a place like this where perhaps shooting the ball can be difficult, so we have to go down low to him. He's an exceptional defender as well, which I think the matchup there with Donovan Clay is really key. Donovan Clay, one of the most talented big men in the league this year. The question is, can Medelican neutralize him?
And Siobhan, as a guard, how great is it to have a safety blanket, a safety net that you can just throw into a big guy and know he can put in work?
Yeah, not only that, but look, it's such a safety net to be able to let it fly, right? So he's first in the league in rebounds too. That sets you up nicely. You get a catch and shoot, you know he's going to be on the boards, getting those rebounds, cleaning up for you. A safety net in multiple ways.
And what I love about him the most is that on those short rolls, he's got the ability right there to stop, locate shooters out in the corner. A very talented big fella. But the Surrey 89ers would not be here without Nedes Cholovinskis, Siobhan.
Yeah, you come to me. I like the young players stepping up. It's just been great to see Surrey give him that chance last year, and now he's really stepping up into his own this year. 4 threes in the fourth quarter, 19 points, MVP in the second leg of the semi-finals. I mean, what a story for him so far.
And speaking of that story, it kind of reminds me of Holly Winterborn and her come up. How important is it for young Brits to be able to make this journey on this stage?
It's so important. I mean, Nedas had a great academy career at Barking. There's a lot of links here at Surrey with Barking as well. I think the academy programs are so important at, yes, developing the players, but giving the players insight into what it looks like at the next level. And the SLB and Surrey are doing a great job at giving those youngsters, those British youngsters, a chance.
Well, on April 1st, he will be 20 years old, but his game is no joke. And what do you say to those out there that says that this matchup is a foregone conclusion?
Oh, it's everything but. This could be going any other way. Like I said, Surrey are getting closer, and they've got guys like Cholovinskis, 19 years of age. He doesn't care. He's fearless. He doesn't understand the scale of today. So that fearless can be a superpower also.
It feels like it was a long time since we were 19 years old, doesn't it?
I don't remember, I don't think.
Well, speaking of youth, they also have some OGs on the squad. Teo Ogadimbe has had a long and successful career, Let's check out his path and his journey.
Dembe for 3 up top. All strength for Teo.
Ogadimbe, what a spark he's been off the bench. Well, we've seen the evolution of his game year after year.
It's been long. It's been a very long career, so I'm grateful for that.
I mean, I didn't even think I was going to make it as a professional basketball player, let alone to be playing 20 plus years professional is crazy to me. I still say to the guys in the locker room, how am I here? How am I still doing this? But I've enjoyed it and I still enjoy it, and I'll keep going as long as I can. I guess I've definitely matured. Maturity in my basketball, maturity as a person, maturity as a captain and the players. The way I play has definitely changed as well. I'm not as quick, so I tend to be a little bit slower. I still think I'm quite effective, but a little bit on the slow side. Early in my career, I could get up and down quick and I could jump over people or whatnot. So now, playing under the rim a little bit more is how I've adapted it a little bit.
Logan Demi on the low block, trying to drive baseline. Find some room for two.
It means a lot to me, being here for so long, live here, like my kids are growing up here. It's home to me now. It means everything to me to play for Surrey, represent Surrey, especially now in this new iteration of it, a different team that they've put together so quickly. The road hasn't been easy. I mean, it's been tough team upon tough team upon tough team. I mean, and it doesn't stop. It never stops. You've got Sheffield now, and it's another tough team. We were definitely the underdogs, and we've proven that we deserve to be in the finals, and we deserve to win as well. So it's just about, on the day, executing and doing what we know. I've done a lot of things in my career, but actually lifting one of the 3 trophies that you can lift, I haven't yet done that. I've made to 2 finals, but I haven't yet done that. So it'd be a nice cherry on top. I'm really proud of them. We've really stepped up to the plate. We've never come against a team and thought, oh, we can't do this. We've always thought, yeah, we can win, we can do what we're supposed to do. So I'm super proud of the team, but I still think there's more that we can do. So I'm not allowing us to take the gas off. I still want us to push through and get a win.
Finals on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go!
And you and I have played, watched, competed against Theo his whole career. Where have you seen the evolution?
Well, the evolution has been quite dramatic. And look, he's still playing and we're not through. That's the longevity evolution right there. But what he said in the BT as well, he had to rely quite heavily on his athleticism. I remember playing against him, he didn't have really a lot in the offensive game. Now, you look at his three-point threat, you cannot leave him open. But I think it's his basketball IQ. He makes the right plays, he'll swing the ball, he doesn't need to take 20 shots a game, and that's what makes him dangerous. I also think his attitude makes him dangerous. 2 finals, not 1 trophy. That hunger is contagious, and that can be good among the group.
And Siobhan, that veteran presence is very necessary on Nathan's team.
It really, really is. You see, he said 2 times at a final, never won one. This is his 3rd time. The experience on court and in the locker room, I think, it's really important for a team, and just the calmness that comes with age and a bit of perspective. He talked about his family there. He loves basketball, it's everything to him, but he's got a wider perspective now, and that brings a calmness to the team.
Well, speaking of calmness, they got a guy that flies under the radar, Mervyn James. Describe his game, man.
Electrifying, athletic. Just the last out one against Leicester Riders, 27 points, 11 rebounds. He is a natural talent. He's a guy as was his rookie year as a pro, so he will approach this, I think, with a fearless mentality. Very gifted forward.
Well, make sure you keep your eyes glued on Mervyn James. We heard from the players now. Let's check the temperature with the coaches as Cass earlier met up with Lloyd Gardner and Atiba Lyons.
Lloyd, you overcame a tough semi-final against the Riders to make it onto this big stage. How does it feel as a new franchise to be here today?
Yeah, obviously super exciting. As you said, really tough semi-final for us against Leicester. Really pleased with the performance over 2 legs. So feel like we've earned our place here with victories over Leicester and Lions and Derby as well. So yeah, looking forward to the occasion.
And you've played Sheffield 3 times this season, 3 losses, but you've closed the gap each time. How do you take that momentum into today's final?
Yeah, I think, every time we played them, it's been close. Obviously, last time it was a 2-point game in the end, but even the games in Sheffield, they were close going into the final minute. So I think we take confidence from that, but I think they do as well. They've won those close games against us. Stuff we've been talking about is, a lot of the time performances have been good for us. We just got to take those final steps, make plays at a crucial time, and that's what it's going to come down to today.
Atiba, playing in your third cup final as head coach, last one in 2011. How do you prepare the team for a big game like today?
Well, we just, do what we do and work on our, our base and our foundation, and take it as any other game. It's a great occasion, but it's still just a game of basketball.
And you come into this game with the best ranked defence in the league, tied with London. How do you ensure to keep up that intensity from the start?
I think it's just something that we've drilled in from pre-season. The guys have bought in. They do a fantastic job of listening and trying to do what I want. So we got to just bring the intensity.
Thanks for your time. Good luck today.
Thanks a lot.
You hear from the men in charge. Finally, Siobhan, I want you to put on your coach's hat. That final huddle before the players enter the floor. What will be the message?
I think the message has to be about the game plan, and I think both coaches are going to really hone in on that. I think we've had the warm-ups now, we've had the player call-outs, and that's where you kind of get all your nerves out and the environment out. And right now it's about what do we have to do to win this game, and also just reminding them, just be yourself, play the way that we've done to get us here, and show who we are as a team on the court.
Well, right now it's about game time as we are minutes away. So let's flip over to the comms table as we have the best in the business, Dan Rowland and Ant Bro.
Thank you very much, Drew. Well, and I've sat here many times. You've been out there. Your first ever final in this country was a cup final. The first one you ever won was a cup final. You know what these players are going through. You know what these fans' emotions are going to be. Sum it up what the feeling is 3 minutes from tip-off.
Oh, it's one of elation, and I think it's a really unique part of the season as well. We're in March now, we're at the last stages of the season. The season's been long, but now it's a sort of a natural reset where two teams have got a chance to lift some silverware, which is a natural break in the season. So, you kind of want that as well. The confidence you can get from winning something can really propel you then for the last stages of the season.
And it's interesting because coming into the season, a lot of people tipped Sheffield to do well. They put together a really good roster as the game started to play. We see them winning every week. Maybe not so many people were tipping Surrey at the beginning, so the pressure is almost kind of different coming into this on a sort of favourites and an underdog tag.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at the biggest sample size. The biggest sample size we have is league play. This is a 14-4 team in the Sheffield Sharks, or a top 3 team. And you look at the Surrey 89Ers and they're 6-12. So there is a favourite here, Dan. This does not elude the truth here. But on one day, Dan, that's where the evenness can be on.
Exactly it. If we have a look at the starting five, it's back to what has basically been the usual starting five for the Surrey 89ers. Josh Steele, who obviously got injured in that semi-final, which Wyneta Sholovinskas was starting the second leg. He's back into the starting five. This is the five he likes and the one he goes with whenever he can.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think you've got a good blend as well of experience there. You've got to remember that Mervyn James and Delicum, yes, they're input players, but they're rookies as well. So you get that experience there of Josh Steele.
And if we have a look at the starting lineup at the other end of the floor, not so much. This has only been a starting lineup for 5 games. It was basically when Groves got injured, they've come up with this 5. It seems to really work. No surprise that Atiba sticks with it.
No, I think I'd be pretty happy with this 5. If I was the coach, Jamal Anderson, of course, would slot in there nicely. This is his home city in Nottingham, so he'll want to display a championship caliber performance here today.
Well, it's only a short trip down the M1 from Sheffield to Nottingham. They've made it in great number, no doubt about it. And they will be loud and proud for Atiba Lyons and his team. But at the other end in green, they've come up from Surrey and they've not had too many things to cheer in recent years for teams based in Guildford. But they are going to enjoy the day today. And could they pull off what would be one of the big upsets of recent times?
I think so. They're the underdogs. But Dan, they've upset every team they've played. They upset London, who are top of the league. They upset Leicester, who are a top 3 team. So, being the underdog and surprising us all isn't an unusual characteristic for this 89ers
Some
team.
people said they might lose the first round game as well. There's Chris Stodds, our veteran referee, and he is alongside Joe Hodson and JP Herron as well out there. The 5s make their way out onto court. Watching Surrey this year, they tend to start well, particularly at home, but they tend to start games well. It feels like they have to start this game well.
I agree, Dan. You have to. I think when you're the underdogs, you've got to instill some disbelief in the favourites. I think if they can do that, if they can get out to an early league and try and knock a little bit of that high confidence that this Sheffield Sharks team have got. They've got a good shot here to come out victorious.
Well, here we go then. The planning, the preparation has all been done. It's now about the execution. The SLB Cup final about to get underway as Dame Adelakun and Donovan Clay will jump it up. Well, it's not the cleanest, but it is Prentiss Nixon of the Sharks who will have the first possession. Here's McGill, the mid-season signing, formerly of Newcastle and Plymouth. Clay, double team comes to force the ball out of his hands. Good defense on the first possession from the 89ers.
Yeah, it's a first possession there, but of course this is unfamiliar territory for both teams, so usually one or both teams are nervous, tentative starts.
Well, the only one who knows these parts is Jamel Anderson, as a native of Nottingham. Great for him to be in the first ever final here in this city as Nixon steals the ball away. And he pulls up for three off the back of the ring, but Retino recycles.
Wow, aggressive shot there from Prentiss Nixon. I think he's a guy that's really been waiting for this moment.
He slips. Ray is out in front. Clay is chasing him, but he won't catch him. And Jalen Ray has the first points of the final.
Wow, we've had 3 offenses here, Dan. 3 turnovers already, so you can get a sense too of the high pressure situation already for both of these clubs. And sorry, 89ers get an easy run in, and I don't think you'd want someone like Jalen Ray as well to get such an easy basket. He's a player that can score in bunches, and you give him an easy basket to start his day, and that could be a big problem for you for the rest of this afternoon.
Well, it's one of those things when you are playing this team, you know that Ray has such a weaponry in terms of his ability to score. I think there's a lot of weight on the backcourt here for Surrey with Gooden and Ray. They have to both put the ball in the basket. Not easy against the Sheffield defense. Here's Clay, loves to attack from the top, leaves that one a little short, and James with the rebound.
Really interesting matchup between Adelakun and Clay inside there. Arguably the best defensive player in the league, one of the arguably the best offensive player.
There we go, that is good. Getting an early touch of the 2 guys we just talked about in the backcourt, both get a nice early score.
Yeah, I think that's a correlation. I think I'm pretty confident in saying they need Jalen Ray.
There's Anderson saying, I'm in my hometown. Family will be here. He wants to represent.
Just oozes experience as well. Jamal Anderson just sensing a little bit of uneasiness.
Oh my goodness, what a shot from Gooden.
Wow, Gooden. 5 early points for him. This is a really good sign for the 89ers.
Here's Clay. It's around to Anderson again. Fakes the 3 this time. Takes it to the rim instead. Trying to draw a foul, but Adelakun comes away with it. Gooden pulls up. Oh, not quite.
Wow, that was a quick shot, Dan, but I think if you catch fire, you want to capitalize it while the things are hot.
Clay with his back to the basket. Trying to back down Adelakun. Through the contact, couldn't quite convert. But Cam Gooden, we said, he needs a game. He's got 5 early points.
Look at this, it's so difficult too because he has the ability to create for himself. So does Jalen Ray. I think that's why those 2 in particular can be so difficult to guard, because they can create. Now the downside, I think, to them they are smaller guards, especially you compare them to Nixon and Ricky McGill, and also the length that Sheffield have. So the question always was, can Gooden and Ray get enough quality looks to be able to score the ball? And look, small sample size down, but it's been a good start for both of them.
Clay makes both free throws. 2.5 minutes gone. 2-point game. Niners on top. Here's Ray. Inside, Adelakun underneath. Great pass. And an easy 2.
Great look there, an underrated skill that Ray has as well. He has the ability to find his teammates, force this a game. That's a good look there.
Nixon, long 2 off the mark.
two difficult shots from Nixon. You want to get inserted into this game sooner rather than later, but it's a good quality looks.
Delacun has it poked away, but it comes out to Ray. He just stepped on the line, and that will be a Sheffield ball.
The referee had a pretty good look at that one. Bit of a disjointed offense there from 89ers.
Here's Anderson, the man with the most experience of the showpiece games of anybody out there. McGill, oh, he's blocked by Delacun. That will stay with Sheffield. This is Anderson's 13th major final in his career.
Wow. Well, I've had a couple of those finals with him, and he's an excellent team. And here's the play before Delacun and James there protecting the paint.
Nixon has room, and he leaves that one short. So Prentiss Nixon has missed his first 3 attempts.
Such a big reason of why they're here. He had stellar games in quarterfinals and semi-finals.
Gooden's 3 is a little bit short, and suddenly the hot start slowing a little bit. Clay loves to attack from up top. His pass comes right back to him. He'll have another go at it. Can't finish.
I like the aggressive nature of Clay, especially at Delacun, who already picked up his first foul.
Ooh, offensive foul, the call. Nixon taking the charge. Wave off the score from Irvin James.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, Dan. Irvin James was kind of trying to go away, and I don't think Nixon set there. I'm not happy with that call.
To me, it was sort of side. It was on the side, which is right borderline between the block and the charge, but it's a charge that's called, so it's a Sheffield ball, and veteran Andrew Lawrence into the game for the first time. Jordan Hunt as well. And Jacob Groves. Here's Nixon. Now he's on the ball.
And that's that confidence, Dan, to be 0-3 and still have the audacity, confidence, whatever you want to call it, to knock that one down. Big shot there for Nixon.
Steele splashes the 3.
Wow, that's a big shot. Josh Steele is a guy that, if he can contribute those types of shots, this offense is so much more potent.
Here's Groves. Putting the ball on the floor, trying to use his size over Ray. Off the mark. Missed the whole of February with that wrist injury. Only played a handful of minutes in one game back last week. Here's Ray off the glass. It just bubbles out. James trying to keep it alive. He does have it, but unfortunately for him, he loses it out of bounds.
Good hustle, though, from Irvin James. An excellent job there just to come across and crash the offensive glass. Not successful in this attempt, but he's got that mentality. This could be a good day for him.
Rodney Glasgow Jr. into the game for the first time. He, of course, won the trophy with Newcastle a few years back. Nixon. Here is Glasgow. Anderson, space at the top. It's off left, but it falls right to Groves, who ain't not putting it back in for 2.
And they're at advantage. We know how deadly he is from the perimeter, Groves, but he has that length still, that 6'9", long wingspan for occasions just like that, where he can press the boards and pop it back in.
Steele, late shot clock, fires it up from behind the arc. Hunt trying to get the rebound. Groves diving on the floor. Great play.
Excellent play there. You see him saving that one for his team.
And here's Nixon into the key. What a shot.
Goodness me. 4 points personal now for Nixon. It didn't start off very well from him being 0 for 3, but seems to have found his flow.
Ray backs up for 3, and he hits.
Unbelievable. So difficult to guard because he can create for himself just like that. He's a lefty as well, which can be a little unorthodox for the defenders.
Groves trying to attack in a sort of clay mode there. Here's Nixon. He pulls up for 3. Off the iron. Martino trying to keep it alive, but it's Surrey who come away with it. Steele. There's a mismatch inside. They go across court instead to Hunt for three. Off the mark.
Yeah, 89's missed an opportunity there, Dan, as you say. Mervyn James is being guarded. 6'8", being guarded by Prentiss Nixon. 6'3".
Here's Glasgow. Around the screen. Ball moves to Retino, and he hits for three. Both teams got him.
Well, Retino, that ever-present figure for the Sheffield Sharks. Coach Atiba Lyons decides to bring him back year after year, and that's a prime example as to why.
Ray creates a little room for his own shot. What a shot it is, too.
Well, and that's it. Jalen Ray gets the easy basket to start proceedings today, and you see how easy it looks for him now.
Groves blows past Hunt from the lane.
Versatile forward. Groves. Again, he can do so much more than shoot the basketball.
Steele. Back to Ray. Ray to the elbow. He loves that elbow jump shot.
He really does that, and he looks like a player possessed right now. He cannot miss.
Jalen Ray, 9 points in the first quarter.
It's me.
Nixon out to Groves on the three-point line, and he shows his range.
That's great work there from Prentiss Nixon. He started this game pretty aggressive, looking for his shot, but you see him penetrate this time. Gets the defense to collapse, kicks out to Groves, who steps into that one. Effortless.
Ray. Oh, if that goes in, you know it's his night. Level at 19, minute to go in the first quarter. Here's Nixon, under pressure, tosses it up. Steele with the rebound. Game hasn't stopped. Both coaches wait for substitutions, but it's just up and down at the minute. Mervyn James going the long way round. Push is the call, so he will go to the line for the free throws, and the changes the coaches wanted to make can be made. So he's just kind of got his arm a little bit on the initial movement. So Sholovinskas will come in. Teo's getting ready to come in, presumably for James, as he's sat there.
That's the spirit of James wants to come.
James makes it. Here comes Teo. He talked about wanting to win one. He recently went past Gareth Murray on the all-time appearance list in top-flight British basketball, which means nobody's played more games and not won a trophy than him. He can get himself off that list today. It's not one you want to be on.
It's exactly it, Dan. And look, time is running out for him unless he can get another 20 seasons under his belt. So, you know, he will be one of these guys fired up for today, and it's contagious.
Glasgow knocks you down.
Glasgow, the captain, of course, has had his own injury struggles. It'll be a big day for him and his team as they look to capture some silverware.
Gooden somehow finding room despite giving up all the height, and he will go to the line for two.
Gooden is in that attack mode. He's so dangerous.
Substitution.
I thought he was a really good signing. Played for Surrey last year, top flight British basketball, and averaged 10 points per game last season. But this year, he's had some big games for this club. Just sometimes the downside can be his size, and if he's not hitting his jump shots, then it can be very difficult for him to score the basketball. But as you saw in that last play there, he's looked very aggressive, attacked. 6'9" Groves right underneath the basket.
Shot clock is off, so Sheffield can tick it down to the buzzer. They haven't led at all in this quarter. Here's Clay trying to tie it up, and he does, and does it with so little time left that Surrey cannot get a shot away. But that is a really, really good first quarter. And you always wonder, do the nerves come in? Is it new sidelines? Is it all of this? We've seen two teams going toe-to-toe here, 23-23.
Well, both of these two teams have said, we don't have time to worry about stuff like that. We're too busy scoring the ball. And as you say, 23 apiece here. And both teams look to be in good rhythm. Majority of the guys that we predicted would show up have shown up so far. So yeah, I think both clubs will be feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Both teams 3 of 7 from the three-point line. The only difference is one more made two-point field goal versus 2 more made free throws. Other than that, it's dead even.
Including the score, Dan.
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where I don't feel we have a clear favourite today. Yes, we have a favourite in terms of league position, league standings, but you know these two teams are quite evenly matched, especially from the offensive perspective.
Well, as we look back at the highlights from this first quarter, it feels like all of the things we were saying you'd want to see happen have happened. Surrey, decent start. Sheffield, you get the experience from a guy like Anderson showing you he's on this stage. You then see Nixon come into the fray. Ray and Gooden knocking down shots. Steele in the corner. Exactly what you want.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. I think there's a little bit more potential, though, for Sheffield Sharks. Ricky McGill at the moment has yet to score the ball. Ricky McGill is arguably the most talented scorer, and he hasn't produced yet. So you think maybe Sheffield got a little bit more of a powerful punch there, but they've certainly got other areas. Jacob Groves in particular have been very productive so far in this game.
Well, McGill, another guy that has been to a final in this country before. Of course, that was in the season where it was all behind closed doors, the COVID season. He was unsuccessful on that occasion. Well, the Fives back out for the start of this second quarter. It's Andrew Lawrence to get us underway. There's barely a stoppage in that first quarter at all. Pass is deflected. Oh, somehow it gets there. It should never have reached him.
Wow, that was a bizarre how that got through, but Delicon says, thank you very much. I'll take that one.
Here is McGill. Jeffries, who's struggled with injuries a lot this season as well. He'll be delighted to be out there on court in a game like this, and he's another one that can certainly put numbers up in a hurry.
Yeah, and he really hurt Surrey 89ers in that 63-61 when he had 17 points personal, and that's I know 17 points is 17 more, but in a low-scoring game down, that's so impactful. So I think to have Jeffries back in the equation here, that's good news for the Sheffield Sharks. I think Atiba Lyons has got that heavy rotation, though, isn't he? How is he going to rotate in all those guys in so that they're all impactful? That's the question. Time will tell, but I think you'd rather have that problem than not.
Well, coaches tend to narrow the rotation in finals. Obviously, Atiba's been in many finals, so he has that experience. This is only the second final that Lloyd Gardner has been into, but I think you learned so much from that first one, more than any other, as the foul is called on Glasgow.
Foul called against number 11, Rodney Glasgow Jr. Second possession for the 89ers.
Good. Trying to get it to Ogundengbe, stolen away by Groves and thrown ahead. Jeffries has got to chase hard. It was an ambitious pass, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he's trying to get an easy basket for his teammate, but overshoots the pass and results in a turnover.
Ogundengbe back to Gooden. Gooden pulls up for three, and he hits.
Wow. He just Gooden just sized it up that and sort of found a little after that screen was set, and he rises up and knocks it down.
Oh, Groves and Jeffries bump into each other there. They've got a mismatch with Groves inside if they can use it. But it's knocked away by Lawrence, and Lawrence is off and running. It's the two vets running the floor. Here comes the youngster, and he strings the three. Nina Sholovinskas from behind the arc with the triple.
Wow, it's a big play there. As you say, the veteran leadership was starting to break. They slowed it down, like most vets do. And what they got, they traded a good shot for a great one. Sholovinskas stepping into this one and knocking it down. The 19-year-old
with the steal, and then you got maybe a mid-pace break rather than a fast break, but on the trail, Netus in the right place, and he's broadly the reason they're here. He doesn't make those shots in the fourth quarter of the semi-final, but a young man with no fear of the big lights.
No, not at all. And again, that is a superpower in itself. When you're 19 years old, your naivety, you don't know what these things, the scale and size and the magnitude of these things are. And today he comes in there and splashes a three like he's playing in the park.
Well, it's Surrey who lead by 6 here, a minute and a half into the second quarter, which is why Atiba Lyons has scored the first time out. But again, we said at the top, it felt like Surrey as underdogs needed to start well. They have started well.
They have, and I think they're the team that needed to throw the first punch, and that they have. And I think what it does as well, it just puts a little bit of uncertainness in the minds of the opposition. And Sheffield have played relatively well. They scored 23 points in the first quarter, and it's not like it's been a disaster for Sheffield by any means, but yet they traded this game by 6.
Well, James Reese, the latest signing by Sheffield, enters the game and inbounds the ball with his first touch. Jeffries harassed by Teo Gandengbi. Clay steps away from Adelakun and knocks down the shot.
So talented. He just scores in a number of ways. He's not your traditional back to the basket big man. He likes to face up. He even likes to take it from the perimeter, and Damon Adelakun has got a big task on his hands.
Well, a bit of a collision there, and eventually it's out of bounds and will be possession to Sheffield.
Sheffield Sharks possession. Substitution, Prentiss Nixon checks into the ball game. Trent Jeffries heads to the bench.
Just a bit of perspiration being wiped up as these substitutions are being made. And we get back underway. Nixon for the Sharks. Reese, chased by Sholovinskas. Here's Nixon. Good hands from Adelakun. Kept in play though by Nixon. Drives it to the rim, and Gooden caught him on the wrist. That'll be 2 free throws.
Yeah, Nixon just aggressive there, and was sort of a broken offense initially after Adelakun almost steals the ball. But Nixon's aggressiveness and proactiveness towards the rim gives him an opportunity to shoot 2 at the line. Prentiss Nixon, one of these guys, pre-season predictions, Dan, you take them with a pinch of salt, but he was my most improved player. I thought he could go from a player being good to great. He averaged 9 points per game last year for Sheffield Sharks, and this year he's done exactly that, averaging over 16 points per game. Stapling, one of the superstars in this league.
Take them with a pinch of salt, but I'm going to remind you of it anyway, just in case. Nice work, Ant. Just showing that you know 1 or 2 things about it.
It's just you.
Occasionally.
Every now and then, pop up with a winner.
Adelakun handing it off to Gooden. It's a very high pick and roll, that, nearly at the halfway line. Good and off the back of the ring. Sholovinski's trying to keep it alive. And JP Aaron wasn't buying any of Sholovinski's subterfuge, trying to claim it was Surrey ball. It definitely came off him. McGill. Foul is called.
It's not a good one, Dan.
No.
Delicun second foul.
7 minutes to play in the first half. He knew it as soon as the foul was called. So the interesting question for Coach Gardner is how long can he leave him on the bench and protect him? Is McGill using the basket well for the reverse lane?
Well, I knew it wouldn't be long until Ricky McGill scored the basketball. He's such a talent, and he's been an incredible addition to this Sheffield Sharks team.
Ray off the mark for three. Clay looking to attack, but that one slips out of his hands and out of bounds.
That's the downside of always being attacking the ball. You know, it can work in your favor because you put a lot of pressure on the defense, but in instances sometimes like that where you're trying to force the situation and the ball pops out of bounds, that's the downside to that aggressive nature.
Ray, lovely pass into James, who lays it home.
Jalen Ray, that's why he's so dangerous. He creates shots for himself, but also for his teammate. What a phenomenal pass there to lead Mervyn James to the basket.
First field goal attempt of the game for James. He's not really had as much of an impact as he might like. He's not really been allowed to yet. Here's Ray dancing his way out to Sholovinskis. He takes it to the basket and lays it in.
Nice take there from Sholovinskis. He's got that appropriate fear now in the opposition where they have to honour his fakes at the three-point line. And you see two hands on Jacob Groves there, pushing him off the block. See, that pump fake gets him that first step around the defender because they're conscious of him being able to make threes.
He's just picked up his second foul now as well, so he will sit down. They jumped into a zone here, Surrey. McGill, you don't want to lose him. James with the rebound. Anderson pokes it loose though. Wow, Reese is open. And he's going to hit the three.
That's Jamal Anderson. He won't get an assist for that one, but his ability to create an offense out of thin air for his teammate steps into that one and knocks it down.
Ray somehow nearly spanned that one in, but he will go. I just wonder, was he hobbling coming up out of that? It looked like a little bit of an issue. He obviously did injure his ankle in the second leg of the semi-final. Missed a game, sort of gingerly came back to another two.
Wow, this is the type of game, Dan, that you figure out a way to play. You don't any injuries. Well, you just try and put them to the back of your mind and focus on the task at hand. And the task at hand is for Jalen Ray and Surrey 89Ers to win their first piece of silverware this season.
Well, they haven't been behind yet. Surrey, they were for a few seconds. Jalen Ray restores the lead to the Niners.
What a start he's had, Dan. 11 points, 3 assists already for Jalen Ray. Incredible impact so far.
He's so impactful on what they do, Ray. I'll give you the stat in a minute, but for now, here's Sheffield with McGill at the top of the key. Sit down. Jalen Ray, in the games that Surrey have won this year, has shot 39% from three-point range. In the games they haven't won, he's shot 29% from the three-point line. That is how important it is. If he's knocking down shots, they have a really good chance of winning.
That's the definition of an X Factor, Dan. And Jalen Ray has that ability to do that for his team.
Well, he leads all scorers with 11 so far, and he's shooting 50% from the three-point line. Here's James. We haven't really seen him get a touch like that, and he's like, give me the ball, I can shoot this.
Against one of the best on-board defenders in the league, Jamal Anderson. Great shot there from Marvin James.
Lovely pass, and assist for Reese, the left from McGill.
Just like that, Ricky McGill takes his personal to 6 points. He's now joined the party.
Hunt. Here's Ray. Trying to find some space. Eventually he does, and he adds another 2 to his tally. 13.
Goodness me. He is a problem, isn't he?
Clay. Extra pass, and there's McGill again. Underneath the 2.
Sheffield seem to play like they've got 6 men on the court at the moment. It seems to be 1 man over every single time. Surrey 89ers have to rotate quicker. Help the helper.
Lawrence driving in. Took the foul. Team fourth, so I think it'll be on the floor. Yes, it is.
Foul against James Reese, the 5th. On the floor, baseline possession for the 89ers through Liverpool. Andrew Lawrence.
I don't think Sheffield will mind that because it would have been a layup.
Yep.
Here's Ray looking for another 3. Ooh, side of the board.
He's way off there, uncharacteristic. Way off.
Reese leaves it short. The rest of his team hadn't caught him up to get a rebound. James. McGill this time, applying the pressure. Spins past him, lays it in. Foul is called, and 1 for Marvin James.
He is so difficult to guard. Really like his versatility. We saw him the play before, face up and take a jump shot this time. Mismatch down low. Ricky Gill about 6'3", Marvin James 6'8". Marvin James wins out. And 1.
Substitution for the people on Sheffield Sharks. Jordan Martino returns to the ball game. And the 20, James Reese, the 5th, takes a breather.
Both teams
James to the line for the 3-point
making adjustments.
Marvin James, first year as a pro, went to Rider University last year where he led the conference in points per game, 18.9. So he's a forward that has scored the ball wherever he's went, and now he's doing it wearing an 89ers jersey.
McGill. Just a little slip, so he couldn't quite attack at the pace he wanted to. Nixon from deep off the mark. Rebound Lawrence. Hunt. Good. Turns the corner. Out to Lawrence. Off the mark for 3.
It's a good look though, Gooden. Penetrating in the middle there. Got an open look in the corner for Lawrence, who just didn't knock it down.
Clay, huge size mismatch. The double team comes and eventually the foul is called.
Clay's activity has been very good for the Sharks though. You know, he's got opposition to foul him, and because he's been relentless with the way he's attacked. Yes, there's a turnover in the mix there, but much more good than bad there for Donovan Clay as he's on 6 points personal.
Well, timeout call by Lloyd Gardner. 42-44. His Surrey 89ers lead this. 2:26 to go. You know me, and you've sat alongside me long enough. I always say these last couple of minutes just before half-time, they can have huge impacts on the destination of the game. I think if you look at the shooting numbers, that's almost more impressive than the point scoring on this. But if either of these two teams can put a run together in the next 2:26, it totally changes the halftime team talk.
Oh, and it changes the whole mentality as well. Both of these two clubs coming back into the game as well in the second half. So, no, Dan, I am a big endorser of your comments there. I think it's very, very important. This last segment there of the second quarter game is all about momentum, and any way you can get an advantage in that momentum really puts you in good stead for winning the game.
Well, neither team has really grasped it for very long. Surrey led by as many as 6. Sheffield have only led by 1. We would say that Surrey have edged the first half to this point, but it matters not what the score is at this point. First time we've ever played a basketball final here at the Motor Point Arena in Nottingham. It is a great venue with the steep rake of the seats. I would imagine if you're up in the back row, you get a really good view of the court.
We like the front row though, Dan.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, that's why I'm imagining it, and I didn't bother walking all the way up there.
You stayed out here with me. We got some work to do this afternoon.
Clay makes both from the free throw line. Neither team has missed a free throw yet this afternoon. Sheffield with a bit of full court pressure. Space for James, drops it off to Hunt, he lays it in.
Yeah, good space in there, and got the ball to James in the danger zone right in the middle, and drops it down to 6'9" Hunt for the easy finish.
McGill, a little glance at the clock. He's got plenty of time. Oh, he's blocked by Steele. Gets it back, goes out behind the three-point line. No! Everything but dropped for Ricky McGill.
Goodness me. He couldn't have got any closer to scoring the ball. Good defense from Josh Steele as well.
Good, and sneaking back away from the cut for 2.
That is tough there for Gooden. When he's aggressive like that, he has that ability to go high to the rim. Nice finish there. 12 points now for Cam Gooden.
Here's Clay. Slapped away by Hunt. That's going to stay with Sheffield. It's the movement initially from Gooden just to lull Rotino. He's still got work to do on the finish. It's a pretty finish.
Prentiss Nixon will head to the bench.
Lobbed into Rotino, a lot of misdirection, left short, Rotino wide open for 3.
Wow, how does that happen? Oh, and a steal. That's the inbound Ricky McGill there. Just anticipated the pass, and Sheffield have another offense.
And McGill gets him another 2 points.
Just like that 5-point swing.
Yeah, well, they've had 5 points, if you think about it, from steals in the backcourt now. With that one that Anderson knocked loose earlier, that ended up being 3 points. Gooden trying to get 3 back. That doesn't go. And Sheffield in the final minute, they've been behind for almost all of the first half. They lead now. Knocked away, kept in bounds. Great work from James.
Some of these effort plays down. It's cup final day, isn't it? You know that every single second, every single inch, every single play means something.
Steele open for 3. He's got to chase his own rebound down. He gets it, takes it inside, but they recycle back out. 20 on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. Lawrence out to James for 3. Mervyn James knocks down the triple.
That is a difficult shot there. Mervyn James had defenders all around him. It was quite clustered there on the perimeter, but it didn't matter. Mervyn James sort of rose up and shot it.
McGill trying to reply, he cannot. We have 100 points on the board at halftime in the cup final. No danger. Teams trying to feel their way through this one. This has been high scoring, and Lloyd Gardner and his Surrey 89ers have the very slimmest of leads. We're at the half. It's the B-Brawn Sheffield Sharks 49. Surrey 89ers 51. What a half that was.
electrifying, Dan. It's flowed really well as well. I think the game's been up and down. It's stoppages as well with the whistle. So, no, very, very good start to this final. There's not much in it, Dan.
It certainly hasn't been anything, really, but Surrey will be very happy with how they played. The Sheffield fans will be pleased with where they are. Let's have a look at the numbers, and no surprise, you get 100 points. You've got to shoot the ball well to do that, and both teams have.
Well, both of these two teams shooting like they're at home in the gyms that they play out every single week. Both look really comfortable, actually. So it doesn't seem to be any of those final jitters here. But as you say, Dan, you've got to shoot healthily to get these types of numbers. Defensively, though, that ordinarily is where teams have been able to capitalise and win trophies. Who are going to come back out on the defensive end?
The mad thing is the worst shooting number on the board there is 38% for three, and yet you'd take that any game.
Yes, you would. You would indeed. But defensively, things have been loose. You know, I think both teams can improve on that end of the floor, excuse me. So I think the team that can do that the quickest and the most impactful, they're the team that's gonna be in the position to win this basketball game.
Well, what a first half that has been. Let's throw it back to Drew in the studio.
Wow, what a first half. We talk about so much about the new balls, the environment. 100 points in the first half.
None of that mattered. None of that mattered. The baskets were open right from the start.
Well, earlier we talked about Surrey being an underdog, and the one thing you don't want to give is an underdog a little bit of confidence.
Right, and we see right now they have confidence, 61% from field goal in the first half, and you know, you play this out for the next couple of quarters and they're within a sniff in the fourth quarter, and that's dangerous for Sheffield.
And we talked about, for Surrey's perspective, to be in this game, their guards have to be on their A game.
And their guards are on their A game. They are on their A game. I mean, they averaged 13.4 and 11.8 points per game, but they've been making some tough shots, and at the rim, mid-range, and one, all over the floor. Jay and Goodham, unbelievable.
As you see the highlights there, I'm going to sum it up for you. A whole lot of buckets. And speaking of buckets, Mervyn James, we talked about, you all of a sudden look at the scoreboard, and he's in double figures.
Yeah, he has 12 points now. I mean, that's just 17 on the season, but he's one of those quiet ones, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, you kind of look up and you're like, oh, okay, there he goes. There he goes. And you're so dazzled, I think, by the play of the guard that he just quietly goes about his business. What a cushion to have someone like that on your team.
Well, we focus so much on Surrey from Sheffield's perspective. They have to be a little bit encouraged that Ricky McGill hasn't really come for the party yet.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a slow start, wasn't it? Definitely. He started to find his rhythm, I think, towards the end of the second quarter there, and they're going to need him to carry that through into the third.
Well, both coaches at halftime, I'm sure, will be talking about their defense, but I think that's irrelevant. I think it's just great offensive players performing on the big stage.
Yeah, and I think that's been really fun to watch. I mean, you and I both talked about at the top of the game that sometimes finals can be a bit slow, like getting into it, but not today. Not today, not this game. The offense has been really exciting.
Well, let's get one of the stars' perspective as Cass is down courtside with Jalen Ray.
Jalen, as a team, you're shooting over 60% from the field. Is the offense just opening up for you today?
I'm just doing whatever it takes for my team to win, honestly, and that's what I'm doing tonight.
And you come up against a tough defensive team in Sheffield. Really close game in the first half. What do you need to do in the second to take over?
We need to keep doing what we did the first half, though. We got a little lead, but we just got to keep doing what we do, come out with a victory.
Thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, Jalen Ray has definitely came to party and just scoring from all three levels.
Yeah, I think it's just been a joy to watch. I mean, sitting next to you, just talking about how does he do what he does? Like, let's take a little look at how he does what he does. Just so calm, distributing the ball as well, but under a lot of pressure, under a lot of ball pressure, he doesn't panic, takes his time, gets to his spots.
But that's what he loved to do. Just this right here, when he steps back, step through.
So
just a talented offensive player. But the Surrey 89ers aren't done. They're going to need a little bit more of that in the second half. We saw Sheffield Sharks flexing their depth. So we got a lot of ball game to be played. But Head coach Lloyd Gardner has settled into the Surrey franchise pretty quickly, so let's hear how that settlement has been.
You know, Surrey has a rich tradition in basketball. The teams that have come in this arena, the likes of the Surrey Heat, not to mention United and Scorchers, but a new dawn here in the SLB, and that is the Surrey 89Ers.
I enjoy a challenge. I think it's been a challenge trying to set up a new franchise in a really short period of time, and there were some things we would sort of just look at each other and say, well, it's coming, it's just not there yet. It's been an exciting challenge. I think it's been one that means we have complete ownership over now as well. The work that we're doing, we can see the future in it. We can see how it's going to help the club moving forward. And that's probably been the best thing about the franchise.
As a club, as Surrey 89ers, we're happy. We understand it's a new start, a fresh start. We're playing in green, we've got a new logo, all this stuff. So the fans have been great, they've been really behind us. Hopefully we can engage with those people again and get them to be Surrey 89ers fans.
Often I'll say, right now there's a lot we need to improve as a club, and me as a coach and us as a team. But as long as we're trending in the right direction, that's all we can ask. We've just got to keep moving forward. Those gradual improvements, those constant improvements is everything. And I think that's always been my mindset, because, there are times in any team where you question what's going on, if you're doing the right things, while you're not having that success, because professional sport, performance sport is brutal. I think we've been confident with the team we put together. I think we've probably got thinner margins than some of the other teams, which we always knew. We're trying to blend in some younger guys. We've also got some veteran players. And with those veteran players, again, we're going to take those knocks. We're going to take the physical limitations at times. We've been able to recruit and get some great younger players that have been able to help us. And Ned has played a significant part of our team that played in the playoffs. Last year, he got a really big role. We're now getting the fruits of that time. The players that we've got, we were always confident that we could compete with other teams when everybody was on the floor. I don't know if it was something that we kind of had planned on this early in the journey for the franchise, but for sure this is our aspiration, is to be in finals, be competing with the very best in the league no matter what. Fully aware of the kind of franchises that go before us. So to continue that, I think is a fantastic thing. I think, you can see the crowds that we have, how educated they are, how much there are a lot of people that have been around the game for a long time. With the run that we've gone through to beat some really good teams, it will be a special performance. It's special to make the final, let alone to win it. To be able to keep basketball going in this area and to kind of have a successful team, I think is important.
I think it's fair to say that the Surrey Scorchers organization was a little bit stuck. So what do you do? Start fresh. But what are the challenges of starting a new organization?
I mean, there's so many challenges, right? And we know Lloyd's the right man for the job. I think a really important thing is you've got great relationships with those people that you're going to begin to work with. Dan Clark, as GM there, has done a really good job of getting that relationship and really moving forward with that. Lloyd and Dan's dad have known each other for a long, long time, and one thing we know about Lloyd is he knows his X's and O's. He's a smart coach. We've seen it year after year, so it's really exciting to see how those partnerships throughout the years, how those friendships and relationships are starting to blossom, and I think it speeds up the process. It speeds up the process of a new franchise being successful this early.
Well, those relationships contribute to the process being sped up here at Surrey. But let's flip over to the Sheffield Sharks and their main man, Prentiss Nixon, who has had a huge impact on the Sharks so far this season. So let's take a look at the Americans' journey.
Sheffield means a lot, man. They picked me up at a time when I didn't have a job. I was at home kind of just working a job in the grocery store late nights, just trying to keep my dream alive, playing professional basketball. And Coach Atiba called me and Sheffield came through, and they mean the world to me. I hope, they feel that love every time I step on the court for them, and the passion I feel for this city and these fans and this organization. Without them, I don't know where my career would be at right now, so I owe them everything at this moment in time.
Nixon for three, splashes it.
I think as time went on, as I got better, I kind of realized I could take this a long way. And when offers start rolling in, then you kind of put in perspective, if you work hard enough, you could really be a pro at this. You could really do this for a long time. And That's what keeps me motivated now. Just that kid that had a dream, and just, you know, playing basketball at the highest of highs. And I mean, I don't know, it's taking me this far, so who knows how far it can take me in the future. When I transferred to Iowa State, I ended up playing with a guy named Tyrese Halliburton. He's a starting point guard for the Pacers, one of my, you know, close friends. I played with a guy named Mario Shayak that plays in the EuroLeague with Tel Aviv. Nick Weiler-Babb plays in Bayern Munich right now. So I played with a slew of guys that just are looked at some of the best in the world, and it kind of makes you step your game up, man. My Iowa State was a learning process because, you know, coming from Colorado State, I was averaging maybe 17, 18 points a game, and transferring to a Big 12 school with guys like that, it doesn't put you at the bottom of the totem pole, but it just puts in perspective like how much work you got to do to continue to get better at your craft and continue to like elevate and develop. I think by the way I play, I think the passion I play with makes me feel bigger than what I am on the court. You know, being 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", however you want to call it, people look at you a certain way. I mean, all my life it's been like that. For the longest, I wasn't a point guard. I was too small to play the two. So I've heard a lot of things. You know, I'm not athletic enough. I don't shoot the ball well enough. I heard it all. But at the end of the day, I'm a basketball player, and I can play with the best of them, man. I can go out there, you roll the balls out. By the time the game's over, it don't matter if he's 6'2" or he's 6'5". Like, my impact on the game, I think, goes a long way. I want to win as much as we can. I feel like Sheffield deserves that. This organization deserves that. To be looked at as one of the premier teams in this league, you gotta have some hardware. So I think we got all the tools in the making for it. But we gotta take it one day at a time. And I remember, like, you know, it's gonna be a target on our back because we got a lot of talent. But at the end of the day, dogs gotta hunt. So that's what we're gonna go do.
How can you not love that guy's story? He's a guy that's not going to take these moments for granted.
Absolutely not. You can see in the VT that he is so grateful to be here. And he says he's grateful to the Sharks organization. And I think there's so many players in the past with the Sharks organization that have stuck around. They treat people well. It must be great to be part of an organization like that. And I think one thing that's really important to talk about is he's trusted the process. He's been at Iowa State. He talks about Halliburton, lots of players who maybe were shining ahead of him, but he understood that being in that environment, being with those players has elevated his game, and now it's his turn.
Well, he came out in this matchup very aggressive, not efficient, 3 for 9 for the field, but a guy with that talent. What do you tell him as a coach? Do you continue to keep your foot on the gas?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep his foot on the gas. He's their go-to scorer. 8 points, 4 assists, 1 steal right now, so he's doing okay. I think we'll be fine.
Well, boy, do we have a huge 20 minutes coming up for you, and if the Sheffield Sharks are going to lift the trophy, that guy's going to have to have something to say about it. But Lloyd Gardner doing a fantastic job so far. No, he's 20 minutes away for creating history for his crew. But that's it from us. Let's hand you back over to our comms team, Dan and Nat.
Thank you very much, Drew. Well, what a game this has been thus far. They've basically split 100 points between them. Would you change anything if you were one or other of the coaches? Are you happy with the way things are going? What's your thoughts?
I'm just trying to think as well who this best suits, because both of these two teams have that offensive power. We've just seen it in the first 20 minutes of play here. Me personally, Dan, look, I've won 6. I mean, in teams where we've won 6 pieces of silverware in top flight basketball, and defense wasn't far away from any of those victories. So I'm old school, maybe so, but I just feel you need to have an element of defense, and I'm not talking about one-on-one ball defense. I'm talking about team defense. If you clip a lot of the scores there in that first half, there wasn't as much interior helper, that additional layers of defense. So it'd be interesting to see if that does change. Atiba would be the guy that does change that. You know, Atiba's from the same club as me. I played against him my rookie season, and he understands that defense wins championships. You know, he's a blue-collar player himself. He's a blue-collar coach. His teams have all been defensive-orientated. So I would be very surprised if Sheffield aren't the team that adjusts to that, because they would feel that they're in a better position to win the basketball game if they do.
Well, it was 61-63 when they met in January. I think we're going to go past that today as we get underway for the second half. It is the Sharks who get the opening possession. Nixon with it. Nixon looking for room, finds Clay. Clay, step away. Front time. Adelakun, who sat on the bench for a long period of time in the first half when he got that second foul.
Yeah, that could be good or bad, Daniel.
Yeah.
You don't know, and time will tell for him.
Gooden to the free throw line. He continues to fill it up. Cam Gooden with 14 points.
Goodness me. He has been so good at that end of the floor. And that's hard to stop, Dan. You know, when you've got guys like that that can create for themselves, and here's me banging on about defense, that is difficult to stop when you get guys that can create for themselves.
McGill can't convert. Here comes Surrey again. James is going to pull up for the transition three. Adelakun, I was about to say the problem with a shot like that is you can't get an offensive rebound, but Adelakun nearly did. But what's happened is he's been called for a foul, and that's going to be his third. 14 points for Gooden, but 3 fouls now for Dame Adelakun.
Yeah, he's a bit unfortunate because that's your natural reaction to as a big man, is to crash the boards, and his teammate Mervyn James, who's had a great game so far, makes a bad decision there, and Adelakun is picked up a foul as a consequence.
Well, it looks like they're going to take him out. It's one of those things where at some point you're going to play him because he's such a great player. You need him on court, and you have to just trust that he won't foul. But that point is not yet, by the looks of it, for Coach Lloyd Gardner. Ooh, that was the right idea, just not quite executed. And Adelakun will trudge, I think is the word for that, off to the bench. Just 4 points, but 3 fouls, and he's only played, well, just shy of 9 minutes in the contest, and that will be his frustration.
It'll be interesting to see how mentally tough he is as well to stay locked into this game, because it's really difficult. It's very disruptive to your own mental. You've been preparing for this all week, you know, all day as well. It's been on your mind, and good take there from Donovan Crazy. He takes it right out, and that's the difference. You take Adelakun out of the game, and Clay is licking his lips because he feels like he's got the matchup against Jordan Hunt.
Nice pass. James underneath. Steele with the assist.
Wow. Good look there from Josh Steele. And Mervyn James has been that consistent piece for them there. 14 points personal now for Mervyn James.
Oh, what a finish from Prentiss Nixon. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Oh, he's such a high confidence player, isn't he? Remember, he started this game a little off, let's say. It's 0 for 3, but since then, remarkable. 12 points personal now for Prentiss Nixon as you see him attack the rim with such aggression.
Well, 5 for 9 since that slow start. Steele will bring it forward. Great pressure from Nixon. Good. To the backcourt it goes, and a backcourt violation called against the 89ers, and just feels like there's a little twist of the dial at the defensive end, as you predicted, Am, from Sheffield.
There has to be. I think the team that does that is going to put themselves in such an advantageous position.
Nixon from behind the arc for 3. He's got 15.
Goodness me. Prentiss Nixon. I mean, you could see in the BT at halftime too the passion he has for this, and you know, I alluded to it pre-game as well. He was there at the trophy final. He was there watching. You know, that's not easy as a player. All of us think you should be there playing on center stage, and Prentiss Nixon now has the opportunity to right some of the wrongs. Now he finds himself on the center stage, and he is grasping it. 15 points for him.
Clay looking to attack again off the glass. It's a great start for Sheffield, and it's forced Lloyd Gardner into an early timeout. He can't let it get away, even though It's only up to 6. It's enough of a momentum shift that Lloyd has to do something now.
Yeah, I mean, a 6-point lead seems pretty big in a game like this, where these two teams are going pound for pound. And look at that, the confidence as well, just to rise up there and feel you've got the advantage over the defender. Wow.
So if you are in that Surrey huddle, what are you changing right now?
I think you're going to re-emphasise the team not to panic. You know, that it's a game of runs, and this is a resilient group. You know, we've seen them have to absorb some pretty telling periods of times. So I think Lloyd Gardner will want to re-evaluate the situation here. It's 6 points, Dan. It's a 3 from Good and a 3 from Rain. You're back in the game. It's really not a big deal, but it could be a big deal, you know, if you let the game go on and Sharks keep continuing to increase in confidence.
Well, one thing they're going to have to do is locate number 2 wherever he is on the court, because he's the game's top scorer with 16 points. He also has 4 assists to his name as well.
6 minutes 54 remains in this third quarter. 6-point ball game.
Well, Lawrence has checked into the game for Surrey. The clock doesn't tick till he picks the ball up. Ray eventually does. Here is Lawrence. Down to James. Anderson on his back. James, though, able to score.
He is so gifted. Mervyn James, 17 points per game in league play, and today just scores the ball so easily.
Speaking of scoring the ball, there's Ricky McGill.
I knew it. I knew there was some potential there to join this game, and Ricky McGill has just done that with 12 points now for him, and he looks like he's in the mood.
Here's James again. Nice pass. Hunt is fouled from behind by Anderson.
Oh, good look there from Mervyn James. Good decision. That was a late whistle, and Jordan Hunt will be relieved it happened, because that's one of those ones you just want the big fella just get up there and dunk it. Good look there.
It's just that left hand on the hip, on the waist of Hunt. That was spotted by referee Dodds from the wing. That is the first missed free throw of the game.
Wow.
They had been 16 of 16 combined, the two teams. And he's gone 0 for 2. Sheffield 9 of 9, and Surrey dropped to 7 of 9 after that. Play out to Nixon for 3. Oh my goodness, with a hand in his face.
That was a difficult shot, but Prentiss Nixon doesn't see anything but the bucket. Goodness me, 19 points now.
Sheffield turning the screw here. Up 9. James forced out to Ray. They need a response here, Surrey. Ray, tough shot. Oh, he gets a friendly bounce.
But that's exactly what it is, Dan, a tough shot. You see the intensity from the Sheffield Sharks from the defensive end now increased, and it takes a tough shot from Jaden Ray just to cut this deficit to 7.
Well, here's a guy that can make them, but you don't want to have to rely on it. Here's Nixon. He's in his bag right now. He's really feeling it.
Wow. Prentiss Nixon has arrived. Unbelievable.
Ray. Oh, that nearly went as he span it up, but he will go to the free throw line.
I have no clue how he even got that shot off, let alone almost scored the ball. That is unbelievable.
And let's try to check in for Josh Steele and Jordan Hunt.
Look at this. He's following him round, and he doesn't even see him, does he? Just
no, it's strange because it was not even like a faux screen either. He just sort of uses his teammate's body, and there's the one before. Jaden Ray does a good job to recover and get out there, but Prentiss Nixon doesn't even see him. Goodness me.
Game's top scorer, Prentiss Nixon. Jalen Ray becomes the second leading scorer in the game. Rhodes in for Rotino. A little show of full court zone press here. He dropped back into his zone as well by the looks, or is it a man? Toy's followed him all the way out to Clay. It is man-to-man defense. And here's McGill inside and one.
He is elite. Ricky McGill, of course, brought into the season a little bit later, and that's an interesting story for Sheffield Sharks. Rodney Chapman was their lead scorer. He goes down with a season-ending injury. Ricky McGill comes in, and Ricky McGill has that top-flight British Basketball League experience as well, and played with Plymouth Raiders previously in Newcastle Eagles. And again, he's a player. He was the Europe Northern Basketball League MVP with Newcastle Eagles just last year. So he's a formidable player, and he was a superstar in top-flight British basketball last year. So to have him come into this team and slot in as easy as he has is such a credit to himself and Sheffield Sharks.
I think that experience really helped him immediately adjust, literally in game one, play one. Here's James to the rim, gets his own putback.
Special offensive gift Mervyn James has.
Well, the numbers continue to be super impressive in this game. Here's McGill now for three. He knocks down the triple. Ricky McGill is up to 18.
Wow. That 1-2 punch. And the thing is as well, Prentiss Nixon and Ricky McGill, they're just taking turns.
Ray is fouled and he will shoot two.
Surrey, what? How do you stop that 1-2 punch, that combo of Nixon and McGill? And then that's the thing, Danny, if those two are finished, then just throw the ball down low to Donovan Clay.
How long before you bring him back in?
I think you've got to get him back in there soon, and I think it's been pretty difficult for Jordan Hunt being matched up against someone as versatile as Donovan Clay. You've got to have quick enough foot speed, and Jordan Hunt's more accustomed to guarding guys down low.
Well, the plus-minus, which measures whether the score goes up or down when you're on court, there is only one player on Surrey's team who is in positive numbers, and that is Damon Delican, sat on the bench. +6. So when he was on court for the eight and a half minutes he was on court, they won those 8.5 minutes by 6.
Wow. That's your question, Estelle. I'm getting him in now.
Now.
Yeah. You know, this is you don't have time to hope he doesn't pick up another foul.
McGill for 3. Because the other thing is, you might save him for the fouls and be down 20.
Yep, exactly.
Here's Reese. Clay. Knocked away by Lawrence. Shot clock's going to expire here. Or did it expire before? Yes, it did. It'll be a shot clock violation.
Good defensive stand there from Surrey. And Telvin Denby, significantly undersized when compared to Donovan Clay, but he knows where to be, position his body, made things difficult for Clay to get off his shot there.
Sheffield leading by, it's lost, and Reese will get a run back, and it's jamming in. I was about to say leading by 9, they're leading by 11 now.
Goodness me. That's the worst place you could turn the ball over there.
James is blocked by Clay, gets his own rebound. Surrey, I think, are on the ropes here.
Yeah, you just hope they don't panic. You see them, you're right down, everything's a little bit more difficult. It's credit to Sheffield Sharks that the intensity has increased on the defensive end.
Well, this is already Sheffield's best scoring quarter of the game. They had 27 points in this period, and there's still 2.5 minutes to play. Here comes the Delacoon.
James heads to the bench for the Surrey 89ers. Dale checks in for him.
Mervyn James will sit down.
Underway from the baseline for the 89ers.
Oh, they've lost Gooden, and he gets a free score.
Well, he'd welcome that one. Usually absolutely fuming there. Atiba Lyons on the sideline. They've looked good kill, Dan.
Yeah, well, he said he'd mellowed in the pre-game interview. He didn't look too mellowed there, did he?
Cameras don't lie, Dan. Yeah. You can't lie on camera, though.
Shot clock getting low. Clay has to be quick. He goes quick. The Delacoon does enough, and that's knocked out of bounds by Anderson for a Surrey ball.
Yeah, I think Delacoon's intelligent and smart enough. You see what he did there? Used his bodies, his hands are straight. It's like you're indicating to the referee, I do not want a foul. And his length was enough there to make that a difficult shot for Clay.
Gooden gets past Reese. Sholovinskas in a bit of a blind hole there, gets out of it. Gooden again drives, kicks it to a Delacoon, gets his own rebound and pops it in.
Great work there. All of the penetration from Gooden there. He blew right by Reese, the fifth, and was able to get his big man the ball down low. That's a good sign for a point guard too. You want to feed the guy that's been disrupted. Delacoon in and out. I'm sure Gooden realises the importance of having Delacoon locked into this game.
Foul called off the ball. I think it's on Clay. No, it's 34, which is Jacob Groves' number that's shown to the table.
Jalen Ray checks in for the 89ers. Prentiss Nixon checks back
third.
into the ball game.
So Infant's down, Nixon in, Ray back for Surrey. That means a switch on who was going to guard Jalen Ray.
Opportunity here for Surrey. I mean, it's been a bit dreadful third quarter so far, 27-18 in favour of the Sharks, but they've got an opportunity here.
Teo up top, knocks down the three, the veteran.
Wow, Teo Ogundembe, it had to be him, didn't it? The captain to settle the ship. 4-point game, just like that. The resilient Surrey 89ers find themselves within reach.
Anderson drops it off to Clay, who rocks the rim.
Yeah, Jamal Anderson just always responds, doesn't he? Oozes professionalism, oozes experience, and his penetration there is able to get Donovan Clay an easy basket down low.
Ray driving into trouble, kicks it out to Gooden. His three is off the mark. Well, Surrey should get one back here, but they could really do with the stop and a score to finish this quarter. They haven't had too many stops in this period. Sheffield have 29 already. Nixon heats one up. He knew a foul was coming. And it'll be 3 free throws for Nixon. Sholovinskas just had his hands on him.
Yeah. It was a good call from the referee. I don't think it could have went any other way.
Get back into the game. How important is this?
Oh, it's huge. And again, heavily contested shot. The Reese does a good job to get out, but Teo Ogundembe, again, he knows that he has got limited opportunities to win a piece of silverware. And he is going to capitalise on opportunities just like that.
The beard gives away the length of time he's been playing at the top level in British basketball. A few flecks of grey in it these days, but he's still making a big impact. Played in finals. Well, they're all a long time ago now, weren't they? When Teo was back in. Well, it was the old Guildford Heat, wasn't it? Final at the O2, if I remember rightly, against Mersey.
Well, I think it just adds to as well why it's so impressive that the 89ers have been able to find their way here, because the Surrey franchise has been at the bottom of the pile for a very long time, Dan.
Also played in one with Caledonia in 20, well, it would have been Glasgow at that point, in 2015. in a cup final. It's a trophy final for Guildford. Into Adelika, and this almost has to go in. It nearly did. Well, you think that shot got it down to 4, and you think have weathered the storm and made a charge, but Atiba Lyons and his team responded in perfect fashion. A 32-point quarter, and it's the Sharks who have a 9-point lead going in to the final 10 minutes.
Well, complete contrast there, Dan, and Sharks have the highest scoring quarter so far of this game, scoring 32, and 89ers have the lowest, which suggests to me that Sharks have been able to tweak and they've been able to improve things on the defensive end, make things very difficult for the most part of that third quarter for the Surrey 89ers.
Still at 21, that's why the shooting numbers are still really, really good for both teams. Just 2 missed free throws in the whole game there. 35% is pretty decent from three-point land, but 47% is unbelievably good.
It is. It's it's a stat you would dream of.
Well, look back at the highlights from this quarter, and Sheffield really put their foot on the gas. It plays out at the on the stats as an offensive quarter because they end up with 32, but actually it was what they did at the defensive end that flipped the switch.
Yeah, their defense did create offense for them. You know, and Prentiss Nixon was the front runner. I thought he did a stellar job, and you got supporting cast as well. They could all throw the ball down low to Donovan Clay and score the ball, and these shots by Prentiss Nixon really do instill confidence in the team. And then it was Ricky McGill's turn to take over, and that's exactly what he did. He was unbelievable for the Sharks there in that third quarter.
Sheffield putting the squeeze on, but can they see it over the line? They've been pretty good in finals in recent years under Atiba Lyons. I hesitate to mention it, Ant, because you've been on the wrong end of a couple of them. Yeah, but it's been a little while for Sheffield since they've been in the winner's circle. They're 10 minutes away from getting right back there. I say a little while. It was your last game, wasn't it, I think?
2016?
Yeah.
Yep.
Last time Sheffield won a trophy. Here's Gooden. Can Surrey eat their way back into it? Sholovinskas for 3. Hit all those threes in the semi-final to get them here, but he's first in the fourth quarter of the final rattles out.
Oh boy, that would have been a big one, wouldn't it, if he was able to knock that one down. And this is where the young Brit's going to have to really dig deep, because he's had a disruptive game with foul trouble. Was Ricky McGill again just creating and applying pressure on the defense and getting them to keep the foul.
Well, since this man joined Sheffield a month or so ago, they've become very much a three-headed beast at the offensive end of McGill and Nixon and Clay. They do the bulk of the scoring, and they've done exactly that here this afternoon. And Atiba Lyons knows that his team will perform at the defensive end, particularly when you've got Anderson on the court, or Latino's a great defensive player as well. That 300-headed snake is baring its teeth today. Lead back to 11. Good. To Ray. Philippines slips the screen. Ball moves nicely. Needs to go up now, though, with the shot clock getting low. Oh, Ray loses his feet. And away comes Ricky McGill. Ricky McGill blows the layup, but it's followed by Reese.
Oh, it's so frustrating there. Sholovinskas does enough to chase back and put off the initial attempt, but Surrey 89ers just didn't have the bodies back. And that is a cardinal sin.
Well, he had to call a timeout early in the third quarter. He's got another one early on the board here in the fourth quarter for the Surrey 89ers, Lloyd Gardner, because his team are down by their biggest margin after this. Does he get an assist for this? Did he throw off the rim to him? You know how they lob it up off the backboard? Was he lobbing it up off the
Does not get an assist for that one. But rewards is given to the guys who don't stop playing, and Reese, the fifth, followed it through and gets his second dunker today. And that's the thing, when you're chasing the game down, you've got to be near perfect. And again, Lloyd Gardner be disappointed that Sheffield was the only guy back there in the picture.
Well, again, as much as you look at the numbers on the point side of the graphic there, look at the numbers on the field goal percentage. Everybody shooting 50% or better in amongst the leading scorers.
That's pretty impressive, Dan. You're right. Like, it's like the big players have always all stepped up today, and you know they've showed out, and that's what we've seen in an electrifying game so far today.
Well, there's 9 minutes to go. Surrey need a charge. They need it soon. They trail by 13. Their first ever final in their first ever season against a team that knows their way to silverware and has done since they entered the top flight of British basketball in the mid-90s and won the double in their first year, the Sheffield Sharks. Jim Brandon and his Sharks surprised everybody that year, featuring Chris Finch, who's now coaching in the NBA, and Todd Cawthorn, the long-serving forward they had there. Donovan Clay, the forward of today, in off the glass.
He is a modern-day forward, and look at that crossover, strong finish. 16 points now for Donovan Clay to go along with his 6 rebounds.
Teo Ogundengbe taking it to the rim.
Well, he's not ready for this to be over. You see him yell to his team to rally the troops. One more push.
McGill rocking and rolling, getting to the rim, but missing the layup. Off the mark, but Sholovinskas tips it out, and James claims the loose ball. Ray now for 3. Delicon with the offensive rebound. Trying to go to work. Out to James. He puts it on the floor. That's stripped away. And eventually James finds a way to put the ball in.
Goodness me. Offensive rebound after offensive rebound. And Atiba Lyons will be upset with that now as he calls a timeout.
Well, again, I think that's an interesting thing because it kind of shows the experience that Atiba's got in a big game like this. It's not really anything. If it was a regular league game, I don't think he's calling a timeout here. He will know they've made a couple of plays. They've somehow got a basket when we should have taken it away from them. We're still up 13, but I don't want them getting even a sniff of momentum.
No, I agree. That's the experience. You know, he's been to finals and lost finals. He's 4-2 for his own personal record in top flight British finals, but he's never lost a cup. He likes this cup, Dan, and if he has to call some timeouts to break any runs for the opposition, he'll do it.
Well, the cup was the competition he won in his first 2 seasons in British basketball. That kind of sort of set him out, didn't it? That kind of set him on the path. Here he is, what are we, 17 years later, still the boss of Sheffield, and as you say, he's learned a lot along the way, but boy, when you win right at the beginning, that gives you some road to work with, doesn't it?
I think it's always interesting. You know, you look at ex-players and coaches too. They've been given that position because of their successful playing career, right? But I think you have to work harder and be better quicker than someone who's earned that through, I guess, a different route. And Atiba Lyons won early, like you say, Dan.
Reese will go to the line for 2. But again, he was incredibly young when he took over as player coach in the early days at Atiba. So he probably had more of a learning curve than somebody who gets to the end of his career and takes over. Say, like somebody like Pete Scanterbury, one of his predecessors at Sheffield.
Credit to Sheffield as well for the patience, because it works both ways. It's very rare you'll see in top flight professional sports where you have a relationship between a coach and an organisation of 17 years. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Although we have 2, because he and Rob Paternoster started at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem as rare in a 19 league, does it? Professional sports, Dan. It's rare in professional sports.
Is, yeah. You're lucky if you get 17 weeks in football. Here's Sholovinskas trying to force it into Adelakun. It's out of bounds for a Sheffield ball, but for a Surrey ball, but you can just see Sheffield's defense, how hard it is just to make a pass.
Yeah, they've got that another level, and they're displaying it to us now in the second half. The intensity on the defensive end has been night and day compared to the first half.
Foul off the ball. Anderson had hold of James as he was trying to get free.
Sharks haven't fouled either, Dan. It's the first foul of the fourth quarter.
It's 13 in the game on Sheffield. Well, Anderson's got his hands on that as well. Slapped it away. Again, he's another one of those Jamel Anderson games. You look at the numbers and he's got 3 assists, 3 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, no rebounds, but he's a plus 15, by the way. There's a reason he's on the court for 29 minutes. He's so great defensively.
I've played with him, Dan. I've won with him, and I'm picking him in my team any day of the week. Unbelievable teammate, on and off court.
Dengley spinning off the glass. He will not go quietly into the night. If they don't win, it won't be for lack of his effort.
I'd love to see it. I think Denby just continuing to push here, 37 years old, and leading from the front, the team captain.
Nixon, that one had a... Oh, Anderson's got his hands on that again. Yeah, he's mad that he didn't come up with the steal. Everybody else is applauding the effort.
He's the type of player he is, though. He's a natural born winner. And of course, he was, got to study Drew Sullivan all those years, the former Team GB captain. Again, another player that didn't need to right up the stands to influence a game.
Well, I remember him as a young man for Essex in his first season. And what a career he's carved out. He's got another chance to add to his tally of winners' medals. Here's Nixon to the basket. There's Anderson again, trying to keep it alive. And it's funny because he seems to have touched the ball an awful lot without actually being what you would normally call touches, you know what I mean?
He was spiking it to the crowd, Dan.
Yeah.
So stop for that.
There ought to be. He'd lead it if there is. Here's Ray. James, mid-range short corner shot. He loves that one.
Here they come, Dan. They've done it again. This Brazilian bunch has got it to within 7 here, and all you want to do is just make Sheffield be a little bit more tense, a little bit more tight, increase the stress style for them, and who knows, 5 minutes to play, a lot of time left.
All Sheffield have to do is keep the scoreboard ticking, though. Here's Nixon, he slips, he kicks it out to Reese for 3. That one's halfway down. There's an offensive rebound, there's a foul on the floor. I think it's on Sholovinskas. And he walked as if to say, I need to be subbed out, because that's his 4th foul. I don't think his coach is taking him out of the game. I think he's going to say, we're going to ride with you. Normally you leave that with the veterans. You go, he's got the experience to not commit that 5th foul, but they're going with the youth because they need him out there.
It's a good foul, Dan. I mean, it's a basket-saving foul. Donovan Clay's laying it up if he doesn't foul him there, so
Anderson for three. Got it! Jamal Anderson knocks down the triple.
It's a big one, Dan. Just when 89ers were increasing hope and getting back into this game, you've got the veteran Jamal Anderson, the hometown kid from Nottingham, knocking down a big one.
But Racers giving him points right back. He knocks down a three as well. And he's up to 24 on the steal. Away comes Ray. He almost lost it. He was happy to hear that whistle.
This game is erratic.
Substitution. Dennis Cholovitzis for them to revenge.
Jalen Ray.
Josh Steele will check in.
Just hand down, man down.
Yeah, you can see him sizing up, getting to the defender.
Cholovitzis does sit down. I suspect we'll see him again before this game is done. Steele in. Can they somehow find a way? Sorry. Ray through the lane. Delican trying to get the rebound. Anderson didn't want to turn the ball over on a pass and ended up stepping out of bounds as a result.
Good work on the glass. You've got Adelicant and James, they're crashing the boards. That is very difficult to deal with. You look at this Sheffield Sharks lineup as well. Donovan Clay only really the one with any interior presence there.
3:55 to go. Sheffield, who've dominated the second half, still leading this one by 7. It's into James. James under pressure. He's fouled, and he will shoot 2.
He almost made the basket too.
Third foul on Anderson. That's a awkward one because he's kind of underneath him, and he's the one that feels the contact, but because of the position, he's the one that's called for the foul.
Four for 4 from Mervyn James from beyond the free throw line. Takes him to 23 points personal.
Well, it's only Jordan Hunt who's missed a free throw today. He went 0 for 2. Everybody else has been perfect.
It's a 5-point game down this. They haven't went away.
They will not go away, sorry. Sheffield keep trying to put them away. But as we've said right from the top, they've been really resilient this season. They're trying to show that here in spades. Here's McGill. Creating space, missing everywhere. He got the front of the rim, but not much else. And it could be down to a single possession here if Surrey can score. Ray for 3. Front time. Ray gets his own rebound and saves it off Clay. What a play.
Wow. It was a rush shot down. If he makes it, fantastic. If he misses it, it's awful, but he tracks it down. He chases it down, and smart play there to throw the ball off Clay there. 12 seconds left on the shot clock for Surrey to get something out of this.
It's into James. Around the screen, that's a difficult shot, doesn't go. Great box out from Anderson.
Excellent box out from Anderson. That's why he's those healthy plus minuses, Dan.
McGill, 3 minutes to play. Here's Clay. Clay through the contact, and one. Donovan Clay with a huge bucket for Sheffield.
Excellent balance there from Donovan Clay to be able to absorb that contact, and he sort of lost it, but was able to gather it in. Look at that reach over there and sort of switch his hands, and what a finish there. Donovan Clay.
I think there's a little bit of chatter between the two number 5s. But Starks is trying to diffuse. He can't convert the 3-point play, but even better than that, Richino gets them a new 14. Look at them battling, Clay and James. Off the ball, Nixon, long two, just straddled the line. Another offensive rebound, McGill has it. He's trying to force it home, and it's going to be 2 free throws.
Oh, wow, given 2 free throws for that one. Well, that might have been on the floor.
Well, they're over the limit either way, so even if it wasn't, it would have been 2 free throws.
All 3 of these matchups this year have been exciting. You look at the scoreline here. When these guys met early December, Sheffield victorious by 8, and they play again late December. 5-point victory from Sheffield, and then that low scoring 63-61 victory in mid-January. 2-point win to Sheffield. So 89ers are knocking. Can they knock a little harder?
Oh, they're going to have to knock quickly because they're down 9 with 2.5 to play. They pace into must score every time down territory.
Yeah.
Steele back to Ray for 3. Off the mark. Sheffield get a stop. 1 stop closer to victory.
Seen Cam Gooden much either, Dan.
No.
Surprisingly, I don't know if this...
Block. Clay keeps it alive, gets it into Anderson, who's able to squeeze it home.
Wow, that's just a good movement there without the basketball.
Oh, it's going to be stolen. No, it's not. Steele's able to come up with it. Hogan Dengby. For 3, he's still doing it.
Oh, he's not ready to let go of this dream, and captain Hogan Dengby just shoots another opportunity for 89ers. Must stop here, Dan, must stop.
Sheffield milking some time out. Here goes McGill. McGill, well, the stop isn't over until you get the rebound. Didn't hit the ring though, so no reset. Clay for 3. In and out, Anderson bats it alive. They get the ball back. Still down 8. They've got to score. James pulls up and he converts. And Atiba Lyons, I think, is going to give us a little time to think about the situation here with 1:09 on the clock. It is a 6-point game. And in this scenario, you say, Sheffield just have to do the right things here with this cushion. But what they don't want to do is get sped up. Surrey are going to try and speed them up here, trying to force them to do something quicker than they want to.
Yeah, you have to make them as uncomfortable as possible. But it's still enough time down. Even they wouldn't even have to foul initially. Now off the first play, if they can get a stop. The gamble is though you have to get a stop. If you're willing for Sheffield to run down the time, you want to make things as uncomfortable as possible for them and getting not a good shot basically. But it's doable, Dan.
Well, it certainly is. But it's felt like Sheffield, every time they've been asked the question, have answered with a big score, 3 or an and-1 or just a big play. And this is really important now. Well, 98-92 in the history of top flight British basketball, there's only ever been one final where both teams scored 100. It was a 2002 Cup final in Sheffield. Birmingham were beaten by Chester. Rob Paternostre was playing for Birmingham on that day.
Wow.
Here we go. Robbie Pearce was the coach at the other end of the floor. McGill, he's in a difficult spot, but he's able to get himself out of it. Here's Clay. Clay now looking to attack, drives in and scores! And just as they have done all game, they come up with another huge play. It's Donovan Clay with the and one.
They don't get any bigger than that, and there's the versatile big guy catches the ball in the perimeter. You see the foot speed. Great finish. The question was, could Adelakun be able to neutralise him from beyond the perimeter? And not on that occasion. Donovan Clay has been exceptional today, and there's no more bigger plays than that one so far in this game.
Well, 100 is up for Sheffield. Trying to make it 101 is Donovan Clay, and he does. Well, they need something miraculous here in the last 50 seconds, Surrey. James, he drives. His shot is knocked away by Clay. And Surrey get it from the end.
Big block there from Donovan Clay.
Surrey 89ers.
James was just trying to find any slither of space, and Clay stayed with it. His hands were up straight, and then he went chasing the ball. It's a good defensive play. It's funny because we've sat here and talked about Sheffield and their defense, and ultimately they've still given up 92, but they played well defensively.
Very good defensive play there. As you say, that he's waited until that very last minute. But the confidence is high, Dan. When you make a big play like that, a game-defining play, the confidence is high, and he's just took that confidence with him down the other end of the floor and come up with a big play down there too.
Well, 41 seconds separate Sheffield from glory here. Separate these fans from celebration. They've got 9 points. Donovan Clay, one of 3 players on the Sheffield side who have got 20 points plus. He's also got 9 rebounds and 4 assists. He's got to be in the running for MVP. It's not an easy pick.
Baseline possession for the 89ers.
Is there still a window of opportunity for Surrey here? Steele for 3, it's got to go in. Oh, it's in and out. Reese with the rebound, and surely that is the stop now to send Sheffield over the line, except they've thrown the ball away. James pulls up for 2. He doesn't score. Adelakun trying to keep it alive. Ogundengbe, they're running out of clock. It's going to be a travel, and that will be that. With 19.9 seconds left, Sheffield are about to get themselves back in the winner's circle in British basketball. Atiba Lyons is about to have another piece of silverware to add to his collection.
Prentiss Nixon checks in for him.
McGill, they're trying to force the turnover. McGill goes all the way. McGill drops it off to Clay with the reverse jam for the exclamation point on the victory. Ogundengbe along the baseline, and he flushes it down, but that will be that. Sheffield will about dribble it out, except there's a foul first, and there's going to be 2 free throws. I don't think you needed that far, but it just makes Atiba wait a few seconds more.
Well, Dan, just listening to you do the play-by-play there, the erratic finish is so appropriate for this game. It's been unbelievably erratic, exciting though, enthralling stuff to watch.
Well, both sets of fans are on their feet, which sort of tells you something about the game. The Sheffield fans in celebration, and the Surrey fans, well, for the journey, there's no moral victories, but incredible for them to have got here in their first season. And McGill just gives them the little shush. It will be inbounded, and it will be dribbled out, and the Sheffield Sharks are the 2025 Cup champions, and they will celebrate. Josh Steele hit a 3 on the buzzer, by the way, but Sheffield can celebrate and they are champions again. And what a performance from this team.
Incredible, Dan, from start to finish. They have been locked in and they had to chase early. Remember, it was the 89ers who took the first advantage in this game. They had a lead, and it was the Sheffield Sharks that had to turn things around. That second quarter for them did that. And again, the third quarter was the one that really blew this open for them. That was the one where the defensive intensity increased. Only allowed 21 points there for Surrey in that third, and they were able to open this game up.
But it also fed into their offense, because that was the one where they scored the most points as well, and where they took control of the game. And to be honest with you, that gave them the cushion so that every time Surrey made a run, they could only get it to 4 or to 5 or to 6. They couldn't quite get all the way over the hump.
No, and look, the resilient 89ers were able to come back at them again in the fourth quarter. But it was the Sheffield Sharks who were led in scoring by Prentiss Nixon, but it was Donovan Clay down the stretch down, making huge plays. They were able to throw him the ball, and his versatile way of scoring the basketball was really a problem for 89ers.
Well, 24 for McGill, 24 for Nixon, 23 for Clay. They all certainly filled it up. You don't often see 3 players with 20 in a final on the same team, but they have tonight. And a word for your old teammate as well, Jamel Anderson. Again, this is his hometown. This is big for him.
He was excellent today, wasn't he? Absolutely excellent. There he is, enjoying it with his little daughter already. She gets to see him play, because his career has been one of success and longevity. But today, 8 points for him. But again, a plus-minus down, 10 points for Jamel Anderson, who was exceptional.
Well, he will enjoy it here tonight. Let's get some reaction. Prentiss Nixon is with Kaz.
Prentiss, congratulations. You've spoken about what the city of Sheffield means to you. How are you feeling?
I feel great. We came out here and set a goal, and we got the job done tonight. I mean, look at our wonderful fans up here, man. They came out in full force supporting us. Surrey's a hell of a team. You know, they came out strong for the first 3 quarters. But, you know, like I said, I'll take my 12 against anybody 12 in this league on any given night. So, you know, we got the job done tonight. On to the next.
And down 2 at half-time, you flipped the switch in the third quarter, 16 points personal from yourself. What did Coach Lyons say to you?
He just told us now it's time to play our basketball. I think in the first half we didn't really play our brand of basketball. In the second half we came out more aggressive on offense and defense. And at the end of the day, you got to shoot the ball for it to go in. I just let it fly. Trust my work. I've been putting in, all year, and, they win.
Well, congratulations. I'll let you go celebrate with the team.
Thank you.
It was excellent all the way throughout, and you kind of knew coming in he'd set that tone of a guy that was ready for it, and almost we talked about it a little bit about the going to that trophy final in January and sampling it and wanting a piece of that. And you think back to the semi-final when he absolutely blew Bristol away in the first half with all those threes to get them here, and really was sensational all the way through. He'll be in the running for MVP, but it's not going to be an easy pick, that's for sure. But for Lloyd Gardner and Dan Clark there and the Surrey organisation, it's a moment of disappointment. Hopefully on reflection they will take the positives out of this in their first season, to have been here and to have pushed it and to have knocked out 2 of the top 3 on the way. It never feels great right now getting these runners-up medals, but it is a heck of an achievement to find your way to this final and to perform as they did. And the reality is they scored 97 points. That's usually enough to win a final. And Teo's got his whole family up to be here. He knows there's not too many opportunities you get. You've got to try and enjoy it. There's probably a few more opportunities for Nedas ahead of him, but again, they wouldn't be here without his shots in the semi-final, particularly in the fourth quarter. And a really good effort. And for Lloyd Gardner, well, disappointment of a second final defeat of his career, but I'm sure he will be back again to try and right the ship on that one. But a really impressive display from Surrey, but There can only be one winner on a day like that. And today, that winner is the team from the Steel City. They've made the short journey down in their hundreds to watch their team. And it is their team who are now receiving the accolades and receiving their medals as well. Well, Drake Jeffries, in some ways, being able to get a few minutes on the court was probably as much as he could have hoped for when he was walking around in a boot a couple of weeks ago. Ricky McGill, well, he's barely been here a month and he's already got a winner's medal. Prentiss Nixon, you talk about how much it meant for him, and Donovan Clay, those three, the three-headed snake really offensively for the Sheffield Sharks. And what a moment for Jamel Anderson, the Nottingham native, getting his medal in his hometown. He's had to play elsewhere throughout his career, but to get this moment, I'm sure will be super special for him. Rod Glasgow, the captain. Those Sheffield fans, what a journey back it'll be to the Cannon Medical Arena. I'm sure there'll be some parties tonight at the CMA, that's for sure. And the assistant coach is going up, and then Atiba Lyons, he's had his moments, he's had some great highs in his British basketball career, some great finals down the years, and he will enjoy and savour this one, I'm sure. A really special moment in anybody's career. But when you've been going at it for as long as he has, you kind of realise the value of these wins and these moments and the memories you get to share with your team. You can look back in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years' time and remember every single one of them. There's one presentation still to be made. That's for MVP. Let's see who it is.
Finishing with 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 block shots, and 23 points. Your MVP, number 5,
Donovan Clay. Well, he didn't start the season with Sheffield, but as soon as he came in, what an impact he made for them. And he really attacked Surrey all night. And he's got the best index rating of anybody on the team. It was a close run thing, but the golden ball is in the hands of Donovan Clay. Well, now the team will line up behind the plinth, and there's one last bit to be done, and that is the presentation of the cup to the captain, Rodney Glasgow. He receives the trophy, he turns to his teammates, he's ready to celebrate. The 2025 Super League Basketball Cup champions are the Sheffield Sharks. Well, ticker tape flying once again. And as I say, these are the moments you savor. And he will enjoy that. They will pose for the pictures. I'm sure these pictures will be up on the wall at the Cannon Medical Arena very, very shortly. And what a moment for this club and for this fan base who, as I say, come down in great number to support their team. And they will have a night to remember, I'm sure. And Nixon right at the front of it with Rodney Glasgow. And as I say, when you hang them up, whenever that may be, these are the days you remember and the moments. And could this set them off now? They've got one in the bag. They're right at the top end of the table in the league as well. They will be looking to see if they could get a few more maybe into their winners cabinet. The trophy cabinet at the Cannon Medical Arena has the first new prize to be held since they opened it, and a really great moment for Sheffield Sharks and their club. And they quickly go over to the fans who are all the way up from the front row to the very back, all in their T-shirts, all there and loud and supporting their team with their inflatable sharks and their flags, and really great time. And Rodney goes and gives them the old sway of the trophy as well to make sure they get involved as well. Super performance from the Sheffield Sharks. 105 they managed to put on the board. And Rodney, I don't think Rodney's handed it over yet. Let somebody else have a go. He's going to enjoy that. Let's get some reaction from the studio. Back to you, Drew.
Yes, Dan, the Sheffield Sharks make history as the first SLB Cup champion, their first title since 2016. Siobhan, just describe those moments. What does it feel like holding that cup?
They're really the moments that you just remember forever, you know, and thank goodness we have such great social media and photographers now, because it's so special to be able to look back on those moments and see them. It really just feels like everything that you put in was worth it.
Absolutely. And when you look at this game, the third quarter specifically, Sheffield Sharks tightened up the vice grips defensively and just took their game to a whole nother level.
Yeah, this was a very offensive